A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... he landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Aw! Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Welcome into round number 2 of the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series playoffs. It is race number 1 here tonight under the lights at Kansas Speedway, as it should be here in the Midwest. Welcome back to Turn 200's coverage of the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Designs Truck Series. It has been an interesting week, that's for sure, with the elimination of 4 drivers from the playoffs. But we've got 12 drivers who are still in the hunt and still ready to go for 108 laps here tonight. Tommy Cook and Matt Williamson hanging out with you. Matt, it's Kansas Speedway, home to now the closest finish in NASCAR history. History has shown that these finishes at Kansas here with Max V have not been close in the past, but practice tonight was pretty tight up and down the leaderboard. So maybe we'll get some good vibes from the Cup Series race here in the spring.
Yeah, I mean, Kansas has been getting better as they've made changes to the trucks, in my opinion. I think the racing has been pretty good. There's a lot of tire fall off. The low downforce has, made it a little bit more difficult, which makes the drivers really have to hunker down and do their thing. It's not just kind of hold it down as far as it can go for the first few laps anymore. They actually have to work it now, which is a good thing in pretty much everybody's opinion, I think. So excited to see what the drivers of the CNC Home Designs Truck Series have for us here tonight. I think it's going to be a good one.
Let's take a look at the point standings. You'll notice the 4 drivers that were eliminated are hanging out in gray. They're still in the graphic, though, as they did make the playoffs, but everybody else is still got something to fight for here tonight.
They certainly do, and this is just like the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs here. So points have reset to the bonus points that have been made from wins and stage break wins as well. So Justin Michael back to the top of the board here, and 36 points out in front. That is that's a big lead going into a 3-race run. I mean, that's going to be difficult to give up, especially for Justin Michael. Scott Patton, Heath Smith, James Lehman all sit there second, third, and fourth. Rob Haynes will round out your top 5. Greg Mall sits there with just 1 bonus point. Mike Milfelt and Charlie Widener, I shouldn't say just 1 bonus point. 1 point to the good, I should say. And Mike Milfelt, Charlie Widener tied there for 7th. And Will Kirk actually tied with them as well. Brad Slagle, Matt Montalbal, and Matt Sisseler just 1 and a couple points behind, respectively.
So this is an interesting round. Round number 2, of course, Kansas tonight, Talladega next week. And in lieu of racing at the Charlotte Roval, we will race at the Milwaukee Mile for the cutoff race for round number 2. So as crazy as round number 1 was, I think maybe round number 2 will be just as crazy with what is to come here in the next couple weeks and what is ahead of these drivers here tonight at Kansas Speedway. 108 laps. Let's get to it. Justin Michael has won both Kansas races here with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. He will lead the field to green. He led 42 laps en route to victory here last spring. Rob Haynes missed last week, but he's still through to round number 2 of the playoffs. He will start on the outside of the front row. Scott Patton has been trophy hunting of late. He will start in 3rd. How about a Robert Gray P4 quality effort here tonight? He'll start on the outside of row number 2. Great lap for the 92. James Lehman and Riley Tilton, last week's runner-up on row number 3. It's Heath Smith and Matt Sisseler, playoff drivers on row 4. Zachary Groover, no longer in the playoffs, but still fighting for a good spot. He could still finish up to 5th in the points when it's all said and done. So he will start in 9th, with Ty Young, who's back at the field here for the first time in a number of weeks in the 94. Starting in 10th, Jacob Gibson, likewise, teammates to Ty Young. He will start in 11th. Will Kirk, technically tied on the cutoff line right now, but would be on the outside looking in. He starts in 12th. Greg Mall and Dana Rogers on row number 7. It's Vernon Margine in 15th with Mike Milfelt starting his outside. We've been saying Mick Milfelt so much that I'm starting to turn that into his actual name for some reason. Kerry Cleaver and Jack Watts on row number 9. Charlie Widener, Matt Montalbal back on row number 10. Kyle Manos is back. He'll start in 21st next to Chris Voiles. Ryan McRoberts. Matt Burkhardt is back at the field tonight. He'll start at 24th. And Bill Paradise, Brandon Groover, Brad Slagle way back there in 27th with Mike Van. Rounding out the field, 28 trucks here tonight. Great showing at Kansas Speedway for Max V. And we'll see what we got for weather conditions and for some of our strategy notes ahead of Kansas Speedway here tonight.
Yeah, some overcast conditions here at Kansas. So track temperature not very warm here, only 81 degrees. We do have some wind gusts here, up to over 10 miles an hour at some point. So that could play a factor here tonight. 108 laps around Kansas Speedway. No fast repairs as always. They do get 4 extra sets of tires. Our stage break is going to be at the completion of lap 33, and our fuel window is just about 33 to 37 laps or so. So they're looking to just make it to the end of the stage, and then it's going to be on from there. And shout out to Marilyn Beck, Michelle Kirk, and Goodleaf Archives already in the chat early on in this one. Always appreciated. Keep them coming throughout the night. Always great to have you. And we are getting ready to take the green flag.
Justin Michaels led a lot of laps here at Kansas. He's won both the races with Max V. Rob Haynes won at Las Vegas earlier this season. Would love to take another victory here tonight. 108 laps. Round number 2 of the Max V playoffs is officially underway. Already made it further than we did here in 2023. They piled up big time across the stripe. As Michael, with help from Scott Patton, and now James Lehman out to third. Haynes is back to fourth with Tilton out of his outside. Top line did not get a great start there.
Saw a few drivers talking in the Discord earlier on today as Patton and Michael now side by side for the lead. And Lehman trying to squeeze it underneath of Justin Michael here. Not quite going to get there. But Riley Tilton felt like he had a lot of speed here tonight, and of course was a runner-up finisher last week. He is looking to get one spot better here tonight. He said he was feeling good coming in.
Kansas is a place that always, to me, is sneaky on the tire wear. We saw it with the Venom Truck Series here for their Season 7 finale a couple of months ago. As these guys are juking and jiving all over the place, and you could tell Justin Michael seems like he's off the pace early, but this is the usual MO. He backs it way off, saves the tires. He knows he's got a stage break coming up, so he'll start to turn it on. As long as that truck is pointed forwards anyway, about the halfway mark of the run. But it's Patton leading for now. Haynes in second, Lehman in third. Then Justin Michael. Riley Tilton will slot into line in fifth. Sisler, Gray, Smith, Young, and Mall. The top 10 is Gray. Was blinking there for a second, but is back on the track.
Patton and Haynes now battling side by side for the lead. Haynes looking to get there early.
Haynes will take a bonus point. He led at the line, but Patton still has the position. Now a truck length or two ahead of Rob Haynes, as all of a sudden Lehman will go underneath the 199. Sisler and Tilton side by side for spot number 5 here as well, as Lehman will get a good look underneath here of Rob Haynes.
Gray might be 3 wide with him. He had a big run there. Michael going to slide down in front of Sisler. Air always a factor at this type of a racetrack, especially with this package. And you see 3 different lines through turns 1 and 2. We are 3 wide for 4th down the backstretch.
Justin Michael not wanting to push the issue early, but the issue is being pushed for him as all of a sudden here's James Lehman now with a dive bomb on Scott Patton, and James Lehman will lead it across the stripe. Lehman took second last time through 3 and 4. This time through 3 and 4, he takes the lead.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Patton just stick behind the 50 and maybe try and use the draft a little bit here if they can. Early on, as one is down the racetrack as Matt Montenball stays out of the inside wall. Lots of runoff area, but Montenball is going to be very slow here. Might be coming down pit road.
It was an awfully great save to keep that out of the inside wall. Montenball will lose stage points, unfortunately, but he'll get to keep racing. He is down in the 12th position in the standings as they run, rather tied for 11th. I guess he'd be 12th right now. This is the last driver running on the track. So all the Band of Motorsports fellows have led laps here tonight. Lehman, Patton, Haynes, and Michael. Michael back to 8th. Leaving himself some work here for the back end of the run. But he usually does this exact thing.
Yeah, especially at these types of racetracks, and we've kind of alluded to it that the tire fall off here at Kansas is a lot more prevalent than it used to be. And that's exactly what Justin Michael likes.
Matt Sisler going for a move here on Robert Gray. It's to try and get back into the top 5. Sisler with help here from Greg Mall. And Gray's going to got here. He'll only lose 1. Use the top side momentum against Greg Mall here.
Mall's going to try and get both of them here, though.
Mall will take 6. He's looking for P5 on Sisler, who expressed some trepidation about tonight. As there's one up in the wall, and it was Zachary Groover. So Will Kirk and Charlie Weiner will get past the 40 as he tries to get back up to speed.
Patton and Haynes now starting to battle.
Said he might just ride behind James Lehman, but Lehman's not going to give him that option. He has packed up and left. Half a second lead.
Further back, Will Kirk, Charlie Widener, they're side by side. This is for 12th. And Zachary Groover and Jack Watts, they were battling there behind them as well. Groover's got the spot for now.
All 28 drivers rolled off the starting grid tonight. They're all still out on track as Widener maybe going to lose one here to Groover. They'll continue to fight back. Ooh, Radley Tilton up into the wall in 4th, and he will get plopped right in the middle of this train with Sisler, Mall, and Gray.
We're starting to get to this point in the run where a lot of drivers are going to try and like the bottom, but as the run comes in, you can run the top. Whoa, really well here. Tilton and Sisler, door.
Tilton's not been shy about running aggressively.
Look at the run Greg Mall's got. I mean, you can run the top side really well here, and it works really well, especially after you get 15, 20 laps on your tires. That's kind of a quick way around the racetrack.
Lap 15 on the board. Oh, there's Mall on the wall.
Yeah, they've all started migrating up there. This group was running very different lines. A lot of them running down low, and all three of them ran the top there. I don't know if they were just trying to cover each other off or if they've realized that's where some speed is. We'll have to see. As you see, Mall easily fends off Gray, who was on the bottom.
Oh, there's Mall again, harder into the wall this time. As Gray and Michael were nearly side by side there. Now they'll all tighten up to the back of the 7, and Gray will go for it down low once again. Michael with Smith right behind him. Oh, and that was Justin Michael pretty hard into the wall there. He'll lose at least one spot, maybe a second here to Ty Young as Heath Smith has rolled through. So this run is not quite coming to Justin Michael just yet. He may be experiencing some problems. As for the lead, all of a sudden, this is tightened up, and Patton's made a move to the outside of James Lehman, and Patton will go through. Lehman is backed up here in a hurry. Rob Haynes is going for it. They nearly made contact.
Yeah, Lehman was trying to throw a little bit of a late block on Haynes. Haynes let him slide up in front. Haynes really could have pushed the issue if he wanted to. But you see Haynes run on the top. He's got a huge run into turn 3.
Try and take it down to the bottom. As we talked about this run coming to Justin Michael, well, it certainly came to Scott Patton. And that's why you're the crew chief, and I just talk. Because you played that one perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, we know that James, and Scott knows that James likes to really push the issue, especially in the first stage. You know there's a stage break coming up. James really likes to just basically push it as hard as he can, and part of that is because he's kind of been buried in some running orders, hasn't had great qualifying the last few weeks. But I also think part of it is just seeing how far he can push the tires, knowing that it's not going to hurt him too bad in the long run because there is a stage break coming up. And I think it ultimately ends up benefiting him and kind of feeling out where he can push and where he can't later on in the second half of the race, or the second 2/3 of the race, I should say. Where he's able to push, where he's not, how long, and kind of figure out a fuel number running all out as well. It really helps him in the long run, I think.
Justin Michael and Jacob Gibson have both gotten through on Robert Gray. They're up in 8th and 9th. Gray now fighting with Will Kirk to stay in the top 10.
Lehman's not going away here either.
Certainly not. Ooh, boy. I was just about to say plenty of space given by these teammates, but that was proved to be not correct. I was going to say it would tighten up through the race, but I should know better by now. These guys love to race each other hard. Robert Gray has started to slide backwards here a bit. He's back to 14th now. We're battling for the 13th position with Jack Watts.
Winder and Ty Young, they are side by side further back. Lehman going to take another peek underneath of Scott here.
Riley Tilton's recovered. Riley Tilton's recovered nicely. He's not too far behind here. We got 10 laps to go before the stage caution will fly. Patton and Lehman and Haynes all right here. Haynes going to help maybe push Scott Patton through on the top side. I think they see the train that is slowly creeping up to them, being Tilton, Sisler, and Mall. Whoa! 3 wide.
Wow, it's like Patton got loose on the front stretch there.
May have clipped the apron a bit. That'll allow Lehman to go through. Lehman, I thought, got into the grass. So now it's Lehman and Haynes side by side, and Tilton is here. He's about 5 truck lengths behind now. Oh, and he's into the wall again.
Yeah, Tilton's been running that really, really high line basically from the drop of the green flag. I think the second or third lap, he kind of brushed the wall up there as well. I mean, he has been really flirting with that outside wall, and he gets right on the edge. Makes him quick, but you got to be careful as well.
Haynes really backed up the entry to turn 1, but he made up for it on the corner exit. Rob Haynes leading. Heath Smith has just gotten past Greg Mull. I'm not too sure Mull didn't get up into the wall. There was a big speed difference between those two. Yeah, Riley Tilton is dropping like a rock.
Well, we were on board with him, and all of a sudden he was not there. That is going to be devastating.
Well, that will move everybody from 5th on back up 1 position. That now side by side with Sisler.
Patton's starting to go the wrong way here.
In a hurry.
He's not able to run this bottom, and he is He ran it pretty good that time around. I think at this point in the run, it's very difficult to have any consistency, though.
We're going to push it up the track,
look at
and
this.
that
Maul's going to take it 3 wide.
that's a dangerous game. I don't think Patton realized when he started to drift up the track that they were about to be 3 wide. And he's going to lose 3 spots down the backstretch. Maul, Smith, and Michael all through.
Justin Michael's starting to come in here right at the end, but it might be a little too late. Well, got 4
For the
laps
stage
until
win, anyway.
Yes, 4 laps until the stage ends here.
He's plus 36 to the cut line. He'll still be in a good spot to win this race, as long as he could survive the stage. Get you a couple bonus points and move on. Crazier things have happened. James Lehman's slowing down like he's coming to pit road. I think he is. Pits will be closed next time.
Wow, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
We'll talk about especially why here in a minute when we get to the break and talk about where the fuel's going to be at. As Michael now is going to get to the outside of Sisseler.
That's interesting for a multitude of reasons. All right, Michael looking great now to the outside of Matt Sisseler. This will be for second. He'll
Wow,
take
look
it.
at all the crossing over going on. Smith's going to get underneath the Sisseler here.
Sisseler needing some bonus points. Trying to hang on to a spot in the top 5. Back to 4th with Maul and Jacob Gibson behind. Pits are closed. It'll be 1 to go at the stage line this time.
Wow, here comes Gibson with a big run. He's saved a lot of tire here.
I think with even one more lap, Justin Michael could have been in for the win here. So he's closing on Rob Haynes rather quickly. The green and white checkered flag will be displayed at the line here at Kansas, and Rob Haynes will win the stage. Michael Smith, Sisseler, and Maul, the top 5. Gibson, Patton, Widener, Kirk, and Milfelt, the top 10. And the lucky dog will go to James Lehman because he's the only driver running that's 1 lap down.
I gotta say, I'm pretty shocked to see Lehman come in before the stage end there.
Definitely, I mean, you would think that he would stay out here. But then he'll be down on tire life compared to everybody else. And
We'll still be at the
a
back
few
of the
laps.
field.
Oh, yeah. Still be at the back of the field. We'll still be shorter on fuel. So I guess once he takes the lucky dog here, you might as well just come back in and at least top off if you're going to be at the back of the field anyway. Yeah, I don't. And he's plus 7 to the cut line. That was guaranteed stage points running. He would either finish first, second, or third. Yeah, I'm not sure I get that at all. Well, we have heard a couple of people chime in here on this lap that they are out of fuel.
Oh, wow.
So that could have been it. He knew he wasn't going to make it. Because, I mean, he was pushing hard that entire time. At least Patton and Haynes were saving at some point. Justin Michael's going to win the race off pit road because Rob Haynes was coasting into his box. So Michael Smith, Sisseler, Maul, Gibson will be your top 5. Haynes will make it out in the top 10, but just barely.
Well, that makes the field number a little bit tighter than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be pretty close. I didn't realize it was going to be that close. And Lehman was pushing it pretty hard, so maybe he didn't think he was going to make it on fuel.
Yeah, I think it's even a little tighter than I thought it was going to be, and I felt pretty good for once about the fuel number that we had coming into tonight. So, very interesting indeed.
Well, this is going to give us, if you were able to make it on one more stop after this, it would be 37 laps you would have to make it. But
boy.
according to what we just saw, you would have to make it at least an extra probably 3.5 laps on both stints, is what it seems like. Which, I mean, in reality, you can't just make it another half lap, so you would have to make it 4. Is correct. Now, if you come down pit road this time, put yourself towards the back of the field, it makes it a little bit more realistic, but it's still kind of tough.
James Lehman came in and topped off. Everybody that's running will be on the lead lap. We've lost Riley Tilton due to some connectivity issues while he was running inside the top 5. See if we've got any takers this time. Nobody back to 7th. Looks like Robert Gray is going to take the opportunity to in 12th.
You know,
And
if
he
I
is
was
the only one.
If I was not great on speed, I feel like I would try it.
Why not?
If I'm in the top 15 and I feel like I can go forward, probably not. But if I'm in the, like, from 12th on back and I feel like I don't have the speed to move forward, I feel like I would take a shot.
So Robert Gray will take that shot. He's the only one. As it'll be lap 38 on the board this time with Justin Michael in control of the field for the first time since the opening laps. Heath Smith on his outside, Matt Sisler and Greg Mall in the second row, Scott Patton and Jacob Gibson on row 3. Will Kirk, Charlie Widener, Rob Haynes back to 9th, the stage winner out of fuel entering his box. Mike Milfelt will round out the top 10. The debuting Vernon Margine back in 13th in the 33 truck. As we're back underway. Charlie Widener, Will Kirk, Jacob Gibson, 3 wide. And for second, Patton weasels his way underneath the 93 truck.
Charlie Widener nearly tried to make it 4 wide there through the middle of 1 and 2, but he got pinched off there by Maul.
Who's to say it isn't coming here? It's Maul and Smith nose to tail. Oh, door to door. Sisler and Patton, as Sisler's got a big run. He'll look to the outside for the lead. Lucky that he's not looking to the inside wall right now. Again, Michael saving early. Not pushing the issue, but Kirk and Sisler are.
Wow. Kirk is trying to run right up against the wall. Might try and take a look down low if he has a run.
Rob Haynes back into the fold. He's made quick work of the rest of the top 10 runners. Up inside the top 5 now. Seemingly not a lot of lessons learned about tire save or fuel save. These guys are going at it here early.
I think a lot of them realize they cannot make it, so they're going to be able to break this race up into like 23 lap stints if they wanted to. Now you're kind of putting yourself in jeopardy of potentially going a lap down should a caution come out, but technically the fastest way to do it, if you don't think cautions are going to fly, would be to break it into very small stints, probably.
Haynes, he's loosening up that 46 of Patton. Out of all kinds of sideways there, out of turn number 2. Will Kirk is the race leader.
There goes Mike Milfelt past Justin Michael. Zachary Gruber trying to get around the outside here as well.
Oh, trouble!
Caution!
There, trucks scattering everywhere. Brad Schlegel's in it. Vernon Margheim is in it. Jack Watts is involved. And Margheim's race might be over. Meatball flag for the 33.
Yep, and he just looks like he just took a toe to the pit, so that's probably going to be it for Margheim. Watts pretty slow here. Kind of hard to tell how much damage the black paint on that truck has, but the right front looks pretty banged up.
Brad Schlegel in the 052 still in these playoffs. Took some nose damage into the wall. I think there might have been another playoff driver involved in that was able to drive away from the accident relatively unscathed. In the meantime, a lot of drivers down pit road here.
Wow,
And
this
by a
completely
lot,
changes-
I mean everybody.
This changes everything. While that's going on, let's take a look. Oh, this looks like netcode. And I'm not sure this is one where they were going to end up wrecking. Montenball and Watts end up getting pseudo-connected here. Big gap there in between them, but it catches the two of them together. Montenball is going to get away fairly cleanly. You see Watts is going to go up and hit the wall pretty hard. Schlegel goes for a slide. But, I mean, he makes a little bit of contact with the outside wall there, but it's nothing like crazy significant. It might be okay. I'm not sure where the big damage for Vernon comes in. Might have to back it up to figure out where that comes from. Oh, and he made contact with Montenball. This Montenball came down the racetrack. Wow. That's not a whole lot of contact to cause a meatball there. I think he probably could have come in pretty easily and gotten that fixed quickly, but he decides to just pull off and end it. Don't know if that was necessarily going to be a race ender there for him.
So, an interesting turn of events. Everybody came down pit road except for Will Kirk. But I'm not too sure Will didn't want to come down pit road, but he couldn't. And I'll tell you why. The pace truck was still behind the entire field when everybody came down the front stretch, which is unusual. But I think if Will would have hit pit road, he would have gotten a penalty, and those don't get cleared in this league. And since everybody else didn't go past Will Kirk, or the car in front of them, nobody else would have, or nobody else indeed did get penalized. So this could also just be the 9 staying out. But I mean, when the rest of the field comes down pit road and you're running as well as you are, I don't think you want to pull the odd man out strategy. So I think he got hosed.
Yeah, I would say he probably did. And I mean, the timing of this caution, I mean, completely. This is now back to the one stop for the rest of the race, and it's really not even close. I mean, everybody's going to be able to pretty much push it as hard as they want to, and be able to make it on that one stop. And Kirk is, in fact, going to stay out.
Yeah, Kirk would have needed to come down with everybody else to have the opportunity to come back down and top off here this time. So
Yeah,
he will not get that chance.
And forget, it does give you a drive-through penalty now, which is not something you want here. I mean, has the benefit of some caution laps here, so I mean, is it possible to maybe make it to a point where you could save the fuel? Maybe, but it's going to be tough. He's probably going to be hoping for another caution here.
Oh, definitely will be. Jack Watts is also going to call it a night after that accident, so that will leave us with 3 retirees. 25 of our 28 starters are still out there running, and they're all on the lead lap. Being led here by Will Kirk, who came in tied at the cut line. Technically, there is no tiebreaker for round 2 yet. The determined by best finish of this round. If we go back to the results from last round, he would have been on the outside looking in coming into tonight. But still, +0, -0. Entering tonight, he's hoping to fend off the rest of the field who have a full load of fuel and potentially some fresh tires as well, although it has not been that long since the stage. Kirk with a good restart in the Geico restart zone. Sisler and Haynes side by side for second. Scott Patton did not get off pit road very well. He's back in 10th. As Michael will sneak underneath the 155. Zachary Groover in the 40 making moves here. He's up by the top 5.
Justin Michael feels like he doesn't need to save a whole lot anymore. He's been pretty aggressive here on the restart.
Still, I'd be worried about saving tires more than I would be saving fuel. This track will chew up rubber and spit it out. It's not bothering Justin Michael, though. He'll get one. Will he get the second to take the race lead once again? Side by side with Will Kirk, much like they were at Charlotte. This time it's Michael leading at the line, not by much. And Michael will slide up and clear off the front bumper of the 9.
Ooh, looked like Michael may have gotten up into the wall. Kirk's going to have a run here into 3. See if he can do anything with it.
I don't think he'll be able to, and this might cost him the second spot here as well. As Haynes will get a good run through the tri-oval. Mentioned Patton starting further back in the top 10. He's up to 4th.
So the runs for those trucks that were able to come in, which is everybody except for Will Kirk, it's 31 lap runs to split it in half. So they are able to easily go the distance on fuel. And, I mean, Justin Michael really didn't get extremely fast until just the last 3 or 4 laps faster than everybody else. So maybe he feels like he needs to push it a little bit more this run.
Some trials and tribulations, but these are the 3 that we've seen that have been fastest all night, save for James Lehman, as there's a big stack up on the backstretch. I think the 94 of Ty Young stacked this entire field up, and
back
he is
into the wall. He might have a meatball here.
Yeah, he does have a meatball. He was running in 10th, and I saw the running order absolutely scattered.
I think he pounded the wall out of 2, and everybody had to dive down underneath. Here comes the 46 of Patton.
The 4 strongest trucks tonight. James Lehman back into the top 10. Patton, Michael, and Haynes, the top 3. Patton couldn't quite pull it off there. Give it some more laps, and he'll pull the trigger on that one.
I don't know if he's going to need too many more here. He's going to be clear.
Patton says he's trophy hunting. Looking for the big trophy at the end of the season. But Justin Michael looking for the Kansas three-peat tonight. He will pull a slider and a crossover of his own, and he's into the wall. There goes Patton back down low. A bit too overzealous for the 87. That's the second time he's hit the wall pretty hard out of turn number 4. So Patton is back up front.
Look at this gaggle of trucks just inside the top 10, Tommy.
Yeah, this is all part of the stack up there from Ty Young. They were a little stacked up before that, but that brought everybody back together.
Sisler, Gibson, Montembault, Groover, Lehman, McRoberts, Manos. They're all here together. They're not too far behind. Robert Gray, Greg Mall, Matt Burkhart, Kerry Cleaver, they're all right there as well.
Sisler is up battling for the lead before that caution came out. Our only one for incident on the night thus far. Now he's back defending for 7th with Gibson and Montalbot behind. Montalbot lucky to get away from that accident without much in the way of damage. Speaking of which,
Lehman's on a
to get
mission right
through.
now.
This will be for 9th.
He's had to do it a lot in the last few weeks, go through the field, but usually he's had to do it early on before the stage break. This time he's going to have to do it in the last 2/3 of the race. And he's going to put himself at a bit of a deficit here, especially if we have green flag pit stops.
We're probably, about 20 laps away from green flag pit stops inside of that, maybe?
I would guess probably around lap 77. 77 would kind of be the split the rest of the race in half from when they came down pit road. Wouldn't be surprised to see somebody like Lehman try and come in the lap before, but you can't, you really can't short pit it very much because you're gonna be in trouble as far as fuel goes. And Lehman is absolutely stuck behind.
He certainly is.
This group. This looks like pack racing here. Oh, he's gonna take it 3 wide down to the apron.
Oh God, they were technically 4 wide there for a second. Still 3 wide. Not the place you want to be.
Wow, Gibson gonna dive it in. They are 3 wide again.
Oh, look out. Milfeld in the crunch zone. Still 3 wide. Gibson wiggling up the track just a bit there. And will give way.
Milfeld drifted up as well. Nearly got into Sisler.
Yeah, like you said, he's stuck right now.
There's just nowhere to go. Lehman's going to try the
Widener's
bottom
trying to
again.
go. Widener's trying to go away, but it's not happening. Sisler, hard shot there.
Yeah, these drivers are going to start getting frustrated. This is a caution waiting to happen right here.
Scott Patton nearly a 2-second advantage out front. Haynes and Michael still right here together.
Yeah, I think they're trying to help each other a little bit here.
The other thing we've seen is that Patton had trouble maintaining the pace when he was out front earlier. Early pit stop. Here's Will Kirk. Of course, he had to come down around this time anyway.
He could have made
That's
it
a tough deal.
I think he could have made it a little bit farther, trying to maybe hoping for a caution to come out, but yeah. Lehman finally has gotten through a couple here, has a little bit more room to work with, but starting to get to the point in the run where the top really ends up being the fastest way around the racetrack for at least a few laps. The bottom kind of comes back in again. It's kind of weird how the runs come and go from the top to the bottom as the green flag runs go on here. But Lehman now up to 7th, just got past Maul, and he's going to dive to the bottom again.
Oh, Sisler, a scrape of the wall.
Oh, Sisler.
He's down on speed. Yeah, just trying to throw some dirty air back to try and thwart the run. It worked on Montalbot, but Lehman is still here.
Lehman just needs to hope that he gets clear of Sisler before they get to Widener. If he doesn't, he could get stacked up again here.
2.5 seconds for Scott Patton out front over Justin Michael. This is Widener in 4th, Lehman in 5th, Sisler in 6th. Mal, Montalban, Gibson, and Burkhart right now the top 10.
Lehman is
You'd have
clear of the 93.
You have Matt Burkhart back in the field here tonight. He forfeited a playoff position. Said he had too much work going on. Would only be racing occasionally. Great to see him back in the field here tonight at Kansas.
And in the top 10 right now, and he's looking for more.
Yes, indeed. He's got plenty more right in front of him.
He certainly does.
Rob Haynes has backed off of Justin Michael a bit, about half a second behind. As Michael, I think, has started to turn up the wick just a bit. I think he may have been saving. See how much he was saving. A little less than a tenth quicker last time by, as Lehman is going to go for it to try and take 4th away from Charlie Widener. Oh, and there's trouble. Will Kirk is slowed on the track.
Looks like Dana Rogers has had a problem as well.
I believe it was those two that got together. Will Kirk got upside down in that crash, or rather slid on his side for over half the tri-oval there.
Gotta be honest, truck doesn't look too bad for going for a slide like that.
Well, the two places that don't take a lot of damage are the roof and the doors. So I think, honestly, that was best case scenario. No paintball flag. But will not get the lucky dog because he was involved in the accident, so that will go unused.
Well, let's back it up a little bit farther. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what's going on here. Coming off the corner through the tri-oval, Kirk is going to have a big run. Goes to the bottom. They're side by side here. Looks like I don't know. It's kind of hard to put that on one or the other. Looks like Kirk is kind of trying to go up the racetrack a little bit to get a better angle into turn 1, and Rogers is not really giving a whole lot of room, kind of squeezing down a little bit because wants to be able to make that corner the best as possible as well, and they just come together.
Yeah, Kirk was on fresher tires. Don't forget he had just been down pit road, had to be off sequence. So, I mean, whether or not the truck is ruined, this is kind of solidified a ruined night unless we really start to rack up the cautions here. It's gone from mid to great to very bad in the span of about 40 laps. That's just kind of the luck that Will Kirk seems to have.
Well, the other thing that this does is it has broken up the fuel number again. Driver's not going to be able to make it all the way. They do have one set of tires still remaining.
It also stops the strategy for Justin Michael here as well, who I think was lagging back once again, but was 2.5 seconds behind, was clicking off about half a tenth to a tenth quicker laps than Scott Patton the last 3 or 4 times around before the caution. So now, I mean, the lagging back is working for Michael. He just needs enough laps in a run to make it work. There's a lap short of making a pass for the lead on Rob Haynes to take the stage win was probably... It was going to be pretty close whether Michael was going to get up to Scott Patton in time to make a pass for the lead before the pit stop at that rate. So will the third time be the charm here for Justin Michael? Or will he just go all out and say, screw the tire save this time?
Well, I mean, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, they know for fuel-wise, well, a few of them know fuel-wise they're going to have to come down pit road. We got a couple that are coming back down. I don't know how you would ever stretch this run that much.
That's Lehman and Smith.
I suppose it might be possible.
I think Lehman is just being the contrarian tonight.
He does like to do that.
Not sure he needed to tonight, though, if he was
Yeah,
looking for a top 5.
Well, and the point I was going to get to before that happened is this makes it just all out pace now. There's really no tire saving that really needs to happen. Everybody knows they're going to have to come down pit road again, and there's less than 40 laps left. I mean, you have like a 20-lap run and then an even smaller run if you wanted it, or you could split it in half. I mean, you have some options here, but any way you slice it, your runs are not going to be very big. So you are just going to have to go all out as hard as you can for at least 20 laps here probably.
We've seen some slugfest between these two teammates up front before. Patton and Michael leading the way here at Kansas with a pit stop to go. We're back underway. Michael doesn't get a great start. Here is Charlie Widener looking to take advantage. Michael will have help from Haynes down the backstretch. We'll get the tow from Scott Patton here as well. Still sorted out 2 and maybe 3 wide there.
Oh, Justin Michael got a little bit loose off the corner there, I think, as Haynes was trying to make it 3 wide.
They are 3 wide. There's Sisler on the bottom.
Gibson and Widener made some contact. Gibson kind of came down the racetrack a little bit as, wow, Widener just about got up in the mall.
Yeah, Widener's getting bounced around here. He'll go from second to just barely in the top 10 now.
Everybody's scrapping for positions here from 4th on back.
Haynes pulls back into 3rd. Michael in 2nd. Patton the leader. Some personal bests last time around, including for Justin Michael. Side by side for 5th. Sisler will get through on Millfelt, who's down there on the bottom.
Here comes the run for the 87 on the bottom.
Moving it up the track. They'll still be side by side. Patton's got the run off the top. Michael trying to stall him out. Haynes hoping that he does.
You know what else is an option here, Tommy? If we run this thing out green, a fuel-only stop could be in play as well.
I think so.
Or definitely a right sides only.
Oh, Patton trying to keep Michael pinned down here. Maybe looking for that loose-off condition to stay. Hoping that he doesn't find himself in the wall, too. Here is Haynes, and the middle door is shut. Michael right up onto the door of the 46. Patton down low. Putting the wake here on the 87.
Man, look at Jacob Gibson. Gibson solidifies himself in 4th right now. Everybody else behind him still kind of shuffling. Here comes Mike Millfelt.
In that Rob Haynes victory earlier this season in Las Vegas, Jacob Gibson was also on that podium, so he knows how to do it here in the 1.5 miles. See if Gibson can track down the top 3 from a second back. It's Patton leading Michael. So would you split this right up the middle and pit on, say, lap 90 or 91? Or would you run this all the way out?
I think it's hard not to come down pit road and split it in half. It's hard for me to justify not. I mean, we've had a few cautions tonight, but not that many. And I mean, now that we're starting to get a little bit spread out, the chances of having one are getting lower as we run this run out a little bit. I don't know. That's a tough call. You would be putting yourself a lap down, and if you get sent to the back of the field with this many laps left, I mean, you're basically as good as done.
It's risky, that's for sure. I'll tell you what, one thing I've noticed, James Lehman is way off the pace.
Oh, he's definitely going
suspiciously so.
I cannot imagine a world where he makes it work, because he would have to save like 5 laps of fuel, I think, maybe 4, but I think 5, and I don't see it happening.
Channeling the spirits of Paul Ellison and Corey Rutherford, James Lehman going for it, ASRL style. We'll see if it works out.
Here comes Greg Mall right up to the back at Gibson here, but Gibson has been running the top. Mall has also been running the top. Do you risk trying to make that move down low and lose your momentum? This is a momentum racetrack for the trucks.
Hey, why not just push him up to the top 3? I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
Mall going to drop down low.
When you feel like you're faster, that is very hard to do.
Quiet night, but a good night thus far for the 7. He'll be one of the favorites heading into Talladega next week, regardless of how tonight finishes up.
But here's what happens. He's not getting great runs off the bottom. The 7 isn't. And in just 1 or 2 laps time, here comes Milfelt and Widener. At a point in the middle of this run, it's just almost impossible to pass. You kind of have to wait for the tires to fall off to be able to... Oh! Looked like Gibson got into the wall a little bit. Mall and Milfelt will have a run on the bottom.
That's all it's going to take.
Mistake.
Whoa!
Oh! Oh, no!
Oh, no!
There it is!
Wow, Gibson tumbling. Wow. I think Milfelt and Mall had a little bit of contact. It moved Mall up the track, and from there, the stack up was on. Mall with a meatball. Milfelt with a meatball. Gibson, I mean, undoubtedly out of this race. That was wild.
And we'll never get to know what was going to be the winning strategy.
The winning strategy now is right foot down. Hands left.
Wow.
That was a wild one.
That was quite something. Let's take a look. We'll back it up. Back it up to where Gibson actually gets on the wall here. Off of 4. He's been running this top for a while. Surprised to see the 19 make a mistake there, but maybe feeling the pressure from behind a little bit. Mall and Milfelt get through. Or Mall gets through at least, but he slides. You don't want to do this on entry. Mall is going to keep sliding up the racetrack. He's trying to get in front of Gibson, but he's already too far into the corner, and he just doesn't hit the mark. The truck wants to keep sliding up the racetrack, and indeed it does. But Gibson now is going to try and turn underneath, but Milfelt is right there. He carries a lot of speed into the corner as well. Gibson and Milfelt, right rear, straight head on into the wall. All of them crunched together, and Gibson is going to go for a couple rolls here. We're going to run it back and look at it from Gibson's point of view here as well.
Yeah, certainly. That was an erroneous statement on my part to say there was contact between Mike and Greg there. There was not. The way Greg shot up the track there just kind of looked like that from my vantage point.
Yeah, I think Greg just was trying to get up in front of Gibson in a bad point. He was already in the turn of the corner, and you don't want to try and make a move up the racetrack when you're kind of already in the middle of the corner there. But let's take a look from Gibson's point of view. There's a contact with the wall. No real wheel movements. It's not like he got loose and made a mistake. He just misjudged where the wall was a little bit. Yeah, that's a tough spot to be in. A truck sliding up in front of you, kind of losing momentum up towards the wall. You want it turned down. There's another truck kind of squeezing you up a little bit. That's just a tough spot to be in there.
The bad news train keeps rolling. Scott Patton, for the first time in months, has lagged out of this race.
No way.
I mean, God, it hasn't happened since... I mean, he's been on such an incredible hot streak of late, the last few weeks in the regular season.
I don't think it's happened since early August, maybe, if not even in July.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, he had a couple in a row, like 2 or 3 in a row, I think, but that was quite a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, and it could not have come at a worse time, because Patton's not going to end up scoring a lot of points if he can't get back in here very quickly. He hasn't officially lagged out yet, but I mean, he's at the bottom of the running order. He's not out on track. It's only a matter of seconds here before he is deemed not in the session anymore, as Justin Michael will take the lead across the line here under caution. And there he goes. Okay, so now we'll have to reset. And, man, Patton was really the only person that had anything for Justin Michael tonight. But we also haven't seen Rob Haynes really get his elbows out. He's kind of been rah-rah, go team, running in third all night. I think now is the time, if ever there was one, for Rob Haynes to get after it.
Yeah, it's definitely the time. There's no doubt about it. The sit-and-wait game is over. I mean, the cautions have taken that strategy out of play. It is time to put the hammer down and turn the wheel as hard as it will go if you need to.
Doubled up with 21 laps to go. Justin Michael's in control of this restart. He'll take the outside, as Rob Haynes will be on the inside on the front row. Scott Patton is rolling off of pit road. I think he'll end up going a lap down here, maybe under the green flag. We're back at our way. Oh, wow. Michael does not get going at all. Sluggish restart. Haynes is through to P1.
What kind of defense is Haynes going to try and play early on here?
Michael's been so good on the medium to long runs that we've had here tonight.
Might not be a bad idea for Michael to just kind of sit behind Haynes for a couple of laps here, because if you get to battling really early, you're just going to bring the rest of the field to you. Of course, if you get a run that you just have to take, I mean, you just have to take it. Burkhardt, look at Burkhardt underneath the 95.
Yeah, and Widener got really loose there at a turn number 2. That'll open the door for Matt Burkhart. That 4 is in P4. Nicely done.
Wow, what a return it would be for Burkhart if he could get a podium. I mean, this is already a great position. If he can get an interview, that would be amazing.
Heath Smith just dropped a couple of spots. He is right here in the Hornet's Nest.
Yeah, if something was going to happen, it's going to be right here. There's no doubt about it.
Just thinking that we may not be done with cautions for this race. That would be great news for Scott Patton, who is 1 lap down, trying to stay from going 2 laps down.
James Lehman in the 50, I mean, he has to move forward, and he is doing it right now. Didn't get quite as stuck as he did in that other run where he was trapped behind 5 or 6 drivers. But he still has a few in front of him here that he has to work through.
Matt Sisler, running in 3rd, is yet to have a podium here in this league despite numerous top 10s. Could be a big night for the 93 truck.
Lehman decisively underneath of the 11. Now goes to work on Montembault. Lehman just trying to scrap for as many points as he can get back here. Well, wow, Montembault, not a great run out of the corner. Lehman sneaks underneath. And there's another one for the 50. Up into the top 10 now.
Three-tenths of a second for Rob Haynes over Justin Michael. Matt Sisler fading a bit. He'll have Burkhart Widener and Robert Gray back into the mix here in P6. Brad Slagle, good recovery for him. He was wrecked earlier tonight. Couldn't tell by looking at the truck, though. Good job to the crew.
This one has kind of played into the hands of Gray to have a good run here. I mean, he was really fast in the short run, but kind of fell off after the 20-25 lap mark in the runs. But the way the cautions have flown, it has helped the 92. Burkhart and Sisler were side by side for a moment. Sisler able to keep it in P3 for now.
Justin Michaels starting to put in the work here on Rob Haynes. He's run this low line the last couple of laps, and it has cut some time out. But he's done that before and ended up in the wall a couple of times this race, especially out of turn number 4.
Lehman now underneath the turn 240. It's not on the hood, but it's on the deck lid. I'm going to take it. And McRoberts not far ahead either. Lehman's going to have a few truck lengths to make up on the 23. Clear to 9th.
Yeah, McRoberts and Groovers are out of the playoffs, but they're still hunting for as many points as possible to get a good points finish on the season. They're having good nights here tonight. Michael really working this bottom side. It's going to be so hard to pick off a pass without a mistake from Rob Haynes. Michael seemingly has the pace.
Michael's
15 miles to go at the stripe, and Michael is knocking on the door.
He's starting to kind of use the outside in line here. Haynes is just sticking it to the wall. Now Michael wrapping the bottom. Makes up a lot of ground, but on exit, he just loses it right back. They're kind of staying even here when it's all said and done down the stretches. Oh, Michael, a great middle of 1 and 2 there, though.
It's starting to work here for the 87. Haynes, though, in 3 and 4 will fire back and get clear on Michael once again. Don't look now, but Matt Sisler's creeping back into this picture here as well. He's a couple tenths quicker than the top two as they continue to battle.
Ooh, I think Lehman might have had a interesting moment there. Was 3 wide with McRoberts and Gray.
Well, Justin Michael might have burned him up. He started to fade away now. Either that or he's saving for one last push. But time is running out. For Rob Haynes, it would be a third victory of the season and in his career with Max V, and it'd be an automatic berth to the semifinals. Five laps to go. Haynes can't quite shake Michael. Matt Sisler gaining on them both. The lap car of... Oh, don't tell me.
You gotta be kidding.
Oh, you are absolutely joking. Okay, he's back. Holy cow. That was going to feel so wrong.
I mean, he dropped halfway through the field before he came back.
Yeah, usually if you're falling that far, you're not coming back. Well, we'll see what this does to the drivers around. That's one way to dispose of lap traffic, though. Michael only getting closer in the mirror here. Really sliding those front tires, though. 3 laps to go.
Michael not really gaining a whole lot here.
Three miles to go. The Illinois green waving in Kansas. Step one is for Rob Haynes to make it back to the white flag. Here's Michael. Little by little, Michael keeping himself in the fight here. 1 lap to go. Haynes has run a great closing stretch to this race. He needs to be mistake-free. Michael definitely faster there through 1 and 2. He'll send it down low into 3 and 4. He is going to haul it off. Can't make it stick. Haynes just needs to keep it out of the wall, and he will. Rob Haynes to the line to take victory number 3, and Rob Haynes is through to the semifinals in the Max V playoffs. Justin Michael in second, and Matt Sisler has finally popped the podium bubble. He'll be in booth 200 for the first time. Heartbreaking night for a number of drivers, including Scott Patton, who will finish one lap down in 22nd. Great recovery for Will Kirk, who was upside down at one point. He will finish in 10th. But a big, big night for this driver. Rob Haynes, winner at Las Vegas, Talladega, and now will break up the Justin Michael Kansas Empire.
The beer store is open in Kansas.
Well, the bad news is I don't think he'll be able to get much beer across the border. The good news is he's in Kansas. I think they grow alcohol on trees down there. Rob Haynes with a great victory here tonight. Always a good night when you can hold off Justin Michael. Heads up across the night. We said we weren't sure what he had for him, and I'd say he had enough. So we'll get to your full finishing rundown here as it's Haynes with his third career Max V CNC Home Design Truck Series victory. Justin Michael will finish in second, and Matt Sisler, first career podium with Max V. We'll talk to these three gentlemen here in just a sec. Fourth for Charlie Widener, fifth for Matt Burkhart. Welcome back to Matt Burkhart, who will go plus 19 here tonight. Not quite the hard charger, but pretty damn impressive. James Lehman will finish in sixth. Brad Slagle is the hard charger tonight. He'll go plus 20 and survive an accident early in this race to finish in seventh. Good points night for the 052. Brandon Groover, who I don't think we mentioned at all here tonight, will finish in eighth. Matt Montalbalt ninth. And Will Kirk, great recovery for him as well. He will finish in 10th. Robert Gray in 11th, Ryan McRoberts in 12th, Kyle Manos in 13th, Kerry Cleaver and Bill Paradise, your top 15. 16th for Chris Voiles, 17th for Zachary Groover, 18th for Heath Smith. Boy, he dropped through the field there late. Dana Rogers will finish in 19th, and Michael Van, the last driver on the lead lap in 20th. Greg Mall in 21st with a lot of damage, and Scott Patton will finish in 22nd, the last driver running. Unfortunately for Patton, who I believe led the most laps here tonight. 23rd for Jacob Gibson, 24th for Mike Milfeld, 25th for Ty Young. Jack Watson, 26th. Vernon Margheim in 27th. And Riley Tilton, an early disconnect and victim of some, I guess, a questionable connection to the server for multiple front runners here tonight, most notably Scott Patton. But it is time to talk to your podium finishers. And this gentleman here is a first-time podium finisher, and it's been a long time coming for Matt Sisler, who was P3 here tonight. Congrats.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And as you said, it had been a long time coming. So many chances to get our trucks for M3S Motorsports on the podium. And we came up, I think, fourth 4 times. Somebody from your broadcast must have said last week or whenever the last time was I finished fourth. It was like, oh, not again. And then just, it's a relief to be able to get this and run this well at Kansas. This is one of my favorite tracks, and just a really fun race tonight for everybody here at Max V.
Did I misread your comments earlier in saying that maybe you were a bit tepid? Maybe you liked the track, but it seemed like that the tire life was a concern here tonight. Obviously, it seems like you were able to overcome that.
Well, I mean, I'd had a league race here on Tuesday, and I didn't do as well as I liked, which really stinks because I really do like racing at Kansas. It's a really fun oval to race at. So I was concerned that I didn't have the pace to run up there. And then, that first run, it was suddenly like, okay, I actually have the speed to stay up here. And like why you guys saw me drop a little bit further back was our fuel was razor thin. Like I believe the stage was 33 and I could do 33.5. So it was right on the thing. So I just wanted to make sure I had enough fuel to get back around. But yeah, I mean, once I kind of figured out the tire strategy and what I needed to do, just by kind of like shadowing guys like Justin and Rob and, Milfelt and all those guys who were a bit better on their tire wear than I was, kind of evened out for our 3 Birdies Golf Toyota Tundra.
Well, now we get to induct you into the Society of Matts. Matt, what do you got for Matt?
Congrats on a great run. It is so great to get you up here. Congratulations on the podium. Did want to ask you, I mean, we had the big long green flag run from the green flag to start the race to the stage. Felt like everybody was really gearing up for another long green flag run and trying to figure out how the fuel was going to play out. And then all of a sudden, a few cautions come out and it kind of throws caution to the wind. It ended up being a bunch of short stints, all-out pace. I mean, how did you keep up with the race as it kind of unfolded in front of you?
Well, I mean, I thought it was going to go green for a while as well, and I was actually, that's why I restarted second, I think, for the stage, and I dropped to like 6th, and I was actually prepared to go as far back as 10th, just saving so I could be on new tires at the end. And then the yellow came out, and it was like, okay, what do we do now? And it was too early to take another set of tires, so it was just top off on fuel, and then we were still short, and we had another caution. It was just, we had to be in the right place at the right time on strategy, and luckily, for once, I didn't overthink the strategy, because that sometimes comes into play when I'm running well. I'll overthink and overthink it, but tonight that didn't happen, and just didn't quite have enough speed to get to Rob or Justin up front, but really happy with the run. The track was very, very good right at the end. Ignore the fact that I bounced it off the wall coming to the white flag. That doesn't count.
Yeah, we'll look past that. I think you're all right. But great to get to talk to you here tonight. Congrats on that first podium. First of many here. Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out?
I mean, obviously my sponsor, 3 Birdies Golf Company, like my cousin-in-law's business. He was really cool to let us, come out here, rep the brand. They've got like a nice bunch of golf apparel. I've got the polo on right now. It feels really comfortable, and even though my room gets really hot, it's actually kept me pretty cool. So, big thanks to them. Big thanks to you guys for doing the awesome broadcasts week in and week out. James and everybody at Max V for putting these on Celsius, one of our associate sponsors on our 3 Birdies Tundra, for providing the quick energy we need to have good runs here. They're not a paying sponsor yet. Hint Celsius if you'd like to. My DMs are open.
Great job here tonight, and we'll hopefully get to talk to you again here soon. Keep up the good work.
Sounds good. Thank you guys so much. Keep it going.
All righty. From a first-timer to a many-timer here, this is Justin Michael. The pole sitter tonight will bring it home in P2 and a hard-fought one at that. Congrats on the podium. Strong run to open up round number 2 here. I would imagine you were hoping for one better here tonight, but I mean, you didn't really leave the top. Well, I guess you did early in the runs, but we've come to expect that. You were able to charge up through the field there after laying back and saving some tire life, it seemed.
I tell you, that first run, I was just trying to make it on gas, so I was really saving gas. I saved too much. I still had 2 laps left at the end. I know James had to pit, and a couple other people I think did too. But yeah, we just saved a bunch of tires, a bunch of gas, and that really helped and hurt us at the end, because I think if I wouldn't have saved that much, I might have been up there and maybe got that stage win. But it is what it is. So I think for bonus points and stuff, we're good. We should be able to kind of float through the round if we don't have too much trouble, especially at second place here.
Yeah, Talladega next week, but a strong run here tonight with a lot of stage points, second in the stage as well. Yeah, just a really weird night with Scott getting disconnected there once again. Rob kind of being in the mix. A couple of other drivers with some wonkier strategies, staying up front. I don't know. This was an interesting race here tonight. How do you think it played out from your cockpit versus your expectations?
Yeah, this track always is weird. I like I love this track in real life. I go to the track often and watch the races. It's great racing. When iRacing, I'm not a biggest fan of it because it tends to be one groove up top. But that last 20 lap run or so, I guess the bottom line cooled off because I found something down there and was able to be faster, but I just couldn't drift up off the turns and get by Rob. But that last lap, I kind of just threw it in there and stabbed the brakes just to see if it would stick. So, and it did kind of, but you just can't beat that top line.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here. Good second place. I'm curious what the strategy was before that last caution came out. We had, I think, like 38, 39 laps to the end. Weren't going to be able to make it on fuel. Where do you come down pit road in that scenario? And do you take 2 tires or do you take no tires?
So we came down and took no tires. We took gas only because we only ran, I think, 5 laps. And if that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, if the caution didn't come out and we had run those 38, 39 laps out, green flag, what do you do with a green flag stop there? Do you cut it in half? Do you try to push it as far as you can?
I think I was going to be the only one to be able to make it on gas for one stop. Everybody else said they weren't going to be able to do it. And based on that first run when we ran, the end of 33, so basically 34 laps, and I still had 2 extra, and I wasn't saving hardcore. So I think I could have pushed that out to another lap and probably been okay. It'd have been hard. It'd have been really tough, but I think I could have did it.
Well, we'll never know, but it still ends up working out for you and working out decently for the team here tonight as well. Congrats on the second place. Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out?
Yeah, you just I can't talk today. Sorry. You guys for calling a great race as always. We'll go back and watch some of that. Carrie out there for sponsoring the league for CNC Home Design, and Scott Patton for painting this awesome truck. We appreciate him, and James for putting on the league. And everybody out there watching, Talladega's next week. It's always pretty fun and a crapshoot. So hopefully we finish. That's the main goal. So we'll see you guys then.
Well, the habit of late has been finishing second at the super speedways. You finally broke through and got that win on the super speedways. So maybe it'll be a long string of victories here at the super speedways coming up.
I've had a bad run of luck. So I don't think I even was up in the booth for the last round. Was I? I don't remember. But
I guess Atlanta was the last super speedway as well. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
But I don't know. Super speedway is more for us as a team event to try to get everybody, finishing up front. So as long as I get a top 5, if that happens, I'm okay with it. If we come down to the last few laps and we don't want to race each other because we don't want to wreck each other. So we just want to finish. So unless I'm, desperate for the win to move on to the next round, then I'll go for it. But usually it's just I'll push and be a good team player at Talladega.
Well, we'll look forward to it. Bandit always shows down at the big tracks, and we'll hope to talk to you again when it's all said and done next week. But congrats on the P2 tonight.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Speaking of Bandit drivers, speaking of Super Speedway winners, Rob Haynes is back in booth 200 as a race winner for the 3rd time this season. It's driver 199 to P1. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tommy. I'm pumped again, buddy.
I bet you're a bit wore out as well. That's running that top line. It's what you needed to do, obviously, and to do it mistake-free for that entire last green flag run. I bet you're a bit tuckered out.
Yeah, a little bit. I got the air conditioning cranked here and keeping the sweat down, but yeah, that was a great run. Yeah, holding that top line is the key. I think at Kansas. I mean, Justin got a great run on that last 3 and 4, but I was also being careful. I did not want to catch the wall either mid corner or off the corner, Tommy. So I was being a little bit cautious on the last couple of laps. And I was shocked Justin didn't try to get by me earlier when he had fresh tires. I think that was his best bet. But talking to him after the race there, he said he was trying something different. Maybe he thought it was going to cool down on the inside a little bit and maybe have a good run on the inside late. But he tried, and I don't know. I'm here talking to you.
Well, it's interesting. I made a comment at some point that you were just kind of the cheerleader for Scott and Justin for a good bit of the middle of this race here tonight, running in 3rd very convincingly, helping dictate who was leading, but not really. I mean, a couple laps here and there, but not really get in the mix yourself. All of a sudden, Patton's gone. and you blow past Justin Michael on that final restart to take the lead, and you never looked back. I mean, did you know you had that kind of pace all night, or did you just kind of stumble upon it?
No, I had the pace, I think. But those guys, those guys, they're good racers, and I mean, just hanging behind them is an accomplishment for me. The last restart, I mean, I feel bad for Scott, but hey, I'll take the win no matter what. He had some internet connection issues, and there was some question about, I didn't want to get a black flag on that restart. So Justin worked with me there and told me, as we were coming into the box, that he was getting the right message on his screen and I was getting the right message on mine. So I knew I could just lay into the throttle there in the restart zone without getting a penalty. I feel bad for Scott, but I'll take the win. I needed it tonight. I missed last week, and I needed a max points night, and I believe I got it. Tommy?
I'd say you did, for sure. Matt, what you got for the race winner?
Congrats on a big win here. You've locked yourself into the next round, and I guess my only question for you is the beer store open in Kansas tonight?
It's open everywhere tonight. I don't know what to say about that. It's open in Ontario, that's for sure, Matt. But no, that was a lot of fun, and congrats out to Justin and Matt there, second and third. Anytime I beat Justin, I always post a picture of it somewhere. So he doesn't like that. I like bugging him.
Well, I mean, you got to feel a bit at ease now that you don't have to worry about Talladega, even though you won there last time, and you also don't have to worry about getting your elbows out too much at the Milwaukee Mile as well. Now you can just kind of look for some bonus points here the next couple of weeks. How do we feel about not only the rest of this round, knowing you don't have to sweat it, but now being locked into the semifinals as well? How do we feel about the rest of the season?
I'm gonna run hard, guys. No matter what. Here on out, I'm gonna take every race as I need a win. And just keep building those stage points, like you guys said. Those are important. Like, I can't believe the difference they make. Finishing in the top 5 at the end of that stage every race. I mean, those points build, and it's. I think it's a really good point system we got going, and I'm not sure where I'll finish out here at the end of the season, but I'm locked into the top 8. I'll take it right now and keep trying to build those bonus points as we move towards the final stage.
We got all the confidence in the world in you, partner. Anybody else you want to shout out here tonight?
Turn 200. You guys, Tommy, Matt, anyone who's watching, the fans, thank you. We appreciate it. And CNC Home Designs, Turn 200. James, all the admins, great guys. We've got a good thing going here, and I think we can build on it after we get through this chase here, and we're going to have a good season next year, and I hope you're coming back to us, Tommy.
I hope so too, partner. Rob Haynes is through to the round of 8. Congrats on win number 3. Go Party. We'll talk to you again hopefully next week at Talladega.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, an interesting race here tonight at Kansas. The cautions fell at very interesting points to keep the folks on their toes here tonight, and that's kind of what you expect.
Yeah, it certainly is. I know the drivers kind of talked about how the top was the key line, but I mean, we saw drivers kind of, being able to make the bottom work, the middle work. We saw a lot of 3 wides here tonight, which always gets a little interesting on a track like Kansas. So that was pretty interesting to watch as well. Got to give a shout out to the drivers here tonight putting on a show. Really feel bad for both Riley and Scott having connection issues, and boy, Rob's pretty lucky that he was able to come back from a little hiccup there as well. That was pretty interesting to take in. Not a fun feeling for anybody, really. But good stuff here tonight. Thank you to Michelle, Kirk, Marilyn Beck, and Goodleaf Archives for being in the chat with us here tonight. And a little apology to Justin Michael. Didn't quite ask my question clearly. I think I confused him a little bit, so do apologize for that one. Tommy, it is Thursday, which means we are done for the week. But we got plenty coming up next week.
Yes, we do. Monday night, it's the Ghost Squadra Formula Super Series from the Homestead Roval at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Venom Truck Series road course racing action, Circuit of the Americas for the first time in series history. That's round number 2 of their chase. Round number 2 out of 5. Boy, they had quite a topsy-turvy night at Bristol last Tuesday night. Very interesting lay of the land heading into COTA this week at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. No Wednesday action for the next couple of weeks. They'll be back October 9th, I believe, with the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship from Road Atlanta. We got a couple weeks for that still. But Thursday night, we are racing at Talladega for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series Playoffs, Round 2, Race 2. And Rob Haynes, the driver that won at Talladega last time, doesn't have to worry about a thing for the next couple of weeks other than scoring some extra points. So hopefully he'll do that. Hopefully we can see somebody else work their way into round number 2 with a thrilling victory at Talladega like we always have. That's about all we got for you here tonight, though. Thank you to CNC Home Designs, as always, for sponsoring the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. If you need a home built in Central Florida, of course, we're sending all of our thoughts right now to the folks in Florida, Kerry included, and anybody else, Hayden Palumbo. A lot of Florida drivers, Brody Gunter as well, thinking about them. But thank you to Kerry Cleaver for continuing the support for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Thank you to the admin team as well here with Max V. That's all we got for you here tonight, though. Thank you to the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson. Until we meet again here from Kansas Speedway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Rob Haynes, who's through to the round of 8 in the Max V playoffs.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.